Very good. They like you. I know, it's different.
Who?
People.
All of them.
Yeah,
not all of them.
Not the Reddit, but people.
That's true.
I don't know what my game chat's like at this point either, but you know, the people that are here.
My
like
game chat. Kappas? Kappas.
A lot of Kappas.
Afro face, no space.
Probably.
By the way, you see Bob Ross had 65,000 viewers last night.
I was one of them. I was one of them. It's very relaxing to fall asleep to.
Yesterday, when I was casting, you know, I got a direct message on Twitter from my wife. She was just saying, like, oh, I want to watch, but I can't. I'm really tired. I'm going to bed. I mean, there's a 15-hour difference, right? And then I text her back after I'm done with the set. I'm like, oh, sorry you missed it. Love you. You know, good night, stuff like that. You know, normal husband things. And she goes, no, I'm not sleeping. I've been watching Bob Ross.
Fair enough. He was a talented painter, and he's just, he's so relaxing and nice.
Crazy. My Twitter feed was just Bob Ross for like 3 hours.
There was a lot of Afro Kappas there as well. We're into picks and bands.
Afro face, no space.
Get back to Smite.
Avant Garde going to be taking the first seat. Here's Dire Wolves choose the second side. They're going to make sure they get second pick, second ban. Ares getting taken away again.
What they're doing as well is they're taking away aggressive supports from Richard, which he really likes to play. Sun Wukong taken away by Dire Wolves. They're not first picks. They're just taking it away from Sporks.
Okay.
Zhongque.
I'm expecting that we're not going to see Geb for Dire Wolves this time. That or Avant Garde should probably first pick Sobek.
Agreed. Absolutely 100% agreed. Zhongque taken away from Avant.
Biggy was a monster.
He is a monster. Have you seen him?
Yeah, he's a big dude.
Yeah. He's a good guy, though. Athena, I mean, Dire Wolves taking away Athena from themselves.
Yeah, I mean, that's Chuckles' god, right?
Yeah. I mean, I guess if they let Avant have that, they can get Sobek, but I guess they're kind of like, well, we'd rather them not have Athena.
Avant Garde, first pick. Lots of big picks still. You know, Serket's on the board. Janus is on the board. That Humbots did real well. And no, but they're going to be smart. It's going to be Sobek.
They're just targeting out Richard and really limiting his options as to what he can play here.
Look at him sitting back in his seat. He's like, damn.
Yeah. I think he'll be fine, though. I think he might play the Geb again, but I think he'll play it differently.
Get some Khepri.
Khepri?
Trade them charge praise out.
Khepri jungle? Chuckles
No.
from weekend?
No.
We can see it.
Don't do that. Please. Where was Xing Chen?
That's exactly right. We saw Tomahawk on Integral Nation play it really well. Geb again. You know, they're doing what you said, kind of running at the comp, but Bellona. I really like that.
That's the good swap, right?
There we go.
That was banned last time. They're going to take Bellona in lieu of the Isis, most likely. She still has some jungle potential as well.
Chuckles can play Bellona jungle. He likes to play kind of the tankier jungles, ones that stick to you a little bit more.
Right.
But I just feel like Yardis, like, I want this Bellona. I want to go into my lane and do things to Sporks, and this is the god he's chosen.
Option to Avant Garde. I don't know if we're going to see the Odin this time, although, I mean, Bellona in the lane, he might not get as many kills. Sporks might not be able to rotate, but the way it played last time.
Sporks loves him some Odin. Neith and Janus there, some globals coming out for Avant Garde, prioritizing them a little bit more this time than they did last time, but Ochita's Janus is something to look out for.
Option to the Dire Wolves here as we see the brothers Gallagher trying to decide what they want. This should probably be the mage. Also, you'll notice Hell has made it through.
Hell's not prioritized as much in OC as it is in NA and EU.
Thank God.
Noir.
There we go. Yeah. This character, to me, is incredible. Her solo lane is great. Her mid lane is great. It's hard to keep her locked down. She does incredible damage. Her late game potential with fire shards is insane. I mean, really smart pick. So far, it seems like Dire Wolves have a much more cohesive comp.
Banning now, option for the Dire Wolves. What do you think they're going to take away here? Do you think it's going to be a jungler or more targeted towards Sporks?
Hard to say. I think they should probably take away the Humbots. They agree.
Yeah. Pretty logical to go for it there. Rowe did a lot of work with it last game, done a lot of work with it traditionally, and it set up a lot, and it just interrupted so much of what RichardCastle was trying to do, what Laney was trying to do. It was just comboing that with the Sobek. They just don't want to deal with it again.
Hunter, probably. No, it's good. Wow, it's going to be Isis? Really?
I mean, I guess they think that the Noir might be going solo and that Kiki's going to pick something.
And that Jungle Bellona?
Yeah. I mean, as I said, Chuckles has played it, but Dire was here going to be probably picking up the Hunter at this point. Maybe Xbalanque. Hou-Yi, a possibility, but Laney probably more comfortable in Xbalanque than I think Hou-Yi.
Well, you know, one of the things that Avant said to me before the tournament had even started back on Thursday, they were talking about how Dire Wolves, it's their scrim partners. They generally don't veer too much from their normal strategy, so perhaps Isis was going to fit into something they knew would have been coming with the Bellona jungle, but Xbalanque getting taken, I think, is no surprise.
That's a god that Laney likes to play, and he plays it very well. Guan Yu now coming out for Avant Garde. That could be There's another flex pick, could be solo or jungle, but they have to pick their last one here and kind of make a decision about where that's going to go.
Final pick is going to be Osiris. So we're going to have Osiris versus Bellona, most likely. Final pick, though, right? Yeah, final pick. Oh, that's right. It could be Osiris. I think Guan jungle is probably a little bit stronger.
Yeah, I think Sporks likes his Osiris solo a little bit more than Rowe likes his Osiris jungle. But that's who really dictates a lot of what they pick and how they pick it. Now, of course, they draft with captain coach pre-game and stuff, but during the game, it's Rowe that's really strategizing everything. He is just the brain center of that team. Now, all of them, as I said, very intelligent players, know everything about the characters that they play, know exactly the distances, the scaling, everything like that, but Rowe knows that about all of the characters.
Direwolves' final pick is going to be Poseidon.
There we go.
Again, we are going to see a double mage comp. Now, Poseidon jungle? Huh?
No.
Come on.
No.
Whirlpool and Trident clear camp so quick.
But Chuckles won't play it.
No, you're right. That's true.
Kiki's a little bit disappointed there's a no-skins rule for this tournament because he loves himself that London Conspiracy Poseidon.
Really?
Yeah.
So you think it's going to be Poseidon in mid lane?
Yes, I think it'll be Poseidon mid Nuwa solo.
That probably makes the most sense. Nuwa actually is a pretty decent matchup against Osiris. I would say first 4 levels belongs to Nuwa so long as she doesn't get over-aggressive. After that, Osiris probably keeps the next 3 or 4 levels after the ultimates come out because technically her ultimate isn't really for fighting that 1v1. But then it's a weird dynamic because when you get into level 10 and 11, it winds up being really even again once she starts getting the double minion online because her damage spikes massively.
How do you see this mid lane matchup between Janus and Poseidon going?
I'm sorry?
How do you think this Janus-Poseidon matchup's going to go?
It should belong early game to Poseidon. I think a lot of it's going to ride or die on the junglers. We should really see rotations coming in, major forms of CC with Eagles Rally to try to couple as much mage damage as possible, but I don't know if either team is going to get as aggressive as last game. Direwolves, in my opinion, should be aggressive. They should be the aggressors right from the get-go and show that last game didn't fade us. We're not at all startled by your ability to beat us. We've been beaten like that before, right? It's Avant Garde who should be maybe a little bit worried because if by some way Direwolves get started, they're not used to it.
Yeah. Well, here we go into game number 2 between Direwolves and Avant Garde. So on the blue side, it looks like it's going to be Avant Garde. Red side, it's going to be Direwolves. And yeah, it's going to be Poseidon mid, Nuwa solo. Told you not Poseidon jungle.
Come on, man.
It doesn't suit Chuckles. Chuckles is just, it's not him. It's not,
it's not anyone.
No.
It's not a thing.
No.
I mean, it's kind of a thing. It's not really a thing.
Maybe, you know, pub stomping DJ Pernicus or something like that, but not at this level. Not in a best of 5 grand final. So we go to Worlds.
We almost switched the names, and then we decided not to.
I mean, we'll see. But yeah, the names up the top aren't correct at the moment. Direwolves are on the right. Avant Garde are on your left. The warding, again, look at that. There's 6 wards already placed out on the map. 3 from both teams.
Speaking of teams, Avant Garde being shown once again. Now they're up 1-0. Top seed coming in. I think almost everyone in this room expects Avant to move forward.
The interesting thing about both of these teams is that while Direwolves have beaten Avant, both times that, the only time that Direwolves have won and all the times that Avant Garde have won, there's never been a comeback. The team that wins the first game has always won cleanly.
Really?
Yeah.
Never even taking a game here and there, or is it just...
Not in a competitive stage. In scrims,
sure,
possibly, but in the Invitational ladder, Direwolves won 2-0. There was a tiebreaker game, Avant Garde won 2-0. OPL, Avant Garde won 2-0.
Jeez. Maybe they'll take 2-0, and then suddenly we see that third game going in a different direction. Maybe Avant's not used to having that third game.
I mean, let's hope so, only for the sake of competition.
Yeah, sure.
We can see a bit of a standard start from both teams here. Blue buff being picked up by both solo laners. Seems ElChuckles rotating towards the right-hand side mid-camps first, prioritizing those ahead of the left ones.
Now, we should actually see Chuckles get massively aggressive in the early game, considering the fact that Rowe has not taken a red pot. He is going into boots early, which means he's not going to have nearly as much damage as Chuckles will at this stage. He should be looking to use that. So if they hit level 5 first, and it looks like at the time they will, they should take the fight.
Rowe's just looking for setup at the start, though, rather than necessarily picking up the kill himself. He's looking to set up probably for the duo lane for Subfloor and Biggy.
A little bit later on the clear, Biggy finding that same pluck he found last time. RichardCastle walks away from that one basically for free, only at the cost of mana.
Yeah, Gap Shield there took all of the damage there, so good reaction time from him to get that online before it was really taken away by, he took a lot of the poke damage. Yada being pushed back here a little bit by Sporks. That was some nice damage there coming out from Sporks.
Yeah, Sporks not only hit Yada, but still hit the front of the wave as well. I mean, that's as good as you could really hope for. Yada going to get some damage off. I don't think he's going to get much here unless Sporks decides he's going to back off, and it doesn't seem so. He'll push some of those creeps into the tower. That, or it's going to be Yada taking a lot of damage trying to keep those minions at the tower line.
Looking towards these duo lanes, we can kind of see it's a little bit opposite of the game before. Last game, Laney and RichardCastle were able to get a lot of the push online. This game, it's been Subfloor and Biggy, and that's, you know, Laney's playing the passive god this time. Last game, it was Subfloor, and it'll be really interesting to see kind of these role reversals.
Still trying to push this one out. You'll notice this is the third time now that it's been Ochita and Rowe on the back foot. The jungle so far has belonged. Oh, look at this rotation. What are they looking for over on the left side? Do they not choose to go in? No, they had an advantage there. They did not take it.
I guess kind of there were...
Uh-oh. Kiki's 5.
This could be a good setup here if ElChuckles can find something. He doesn't have Eagle's Rally, but he can get up into Ochita's face and slow him down a bit. Rowe isn't level 5 yet, but Chuckles backing off a little bit, playing it a bit safe. They're a little bit worried about last game where they got picked off very, very easily, and they don't want to repeat the same mistakes.
But they just let Rowe get to 5 for free, meaning that red pot's not going to be used. There's no way you can just Eagles Rally into a Guan Yu. He can cavalry charge on reaction and just rush your mage down.
Chuckles wasn't 5 though. He wasn't feeling it without the Eagles Rally.
He hit 5.
He hit 5 at the same time as Rowe did though.
No.
Was it before?
I mean, like, it's the same wave, yes, but that wave was cleared in favor of Chuckles almost immediately. It could have been Eagles Rally to crack, and they didn't take the opportunity because they're nervous.
Subfloor hitting level 5 now as well, along with side Biggy, but Laney does have a wave. Him and Richard should hit it off the back of this, but they are both going to back at this point. If we could take a look at Golden Hand, they're going to both have about 1,000 each. Yeah, they're going back and buying items now. But towards the solo lane, we can see Yada's got 1,400 in hand. Subfloor's gone down to the World Weaver. What's he looking for?
I think he's just charging it up, very similar to what we see Melito do out of Europe. He just kind of sits there and charges it, forces you forward, makes you think that he's going to fight. People might be rotating. If you don't have complete vision over everyone on the map, it makes you think that he's going to fight you, and a lot of times can just be used as a bait.
One thing Laney noted to me before the game was anytime he sees Subfloor goes aggressive, he knows that Biggy or Rowe is in the area, and he starts to back off.
Right.
And so Subfloor might have noticed that trend. We can see Biggy flinging back RichardCastle. Oh, look at the damage coming down onto him. Cataclysm gets used there, but the stun from Rowe was real, and Biggy picks up a kill there. First blood to Avant Garde again.
100% Rowe on that one. The way that he set up and baited out the Cataclysm and then immediately reacts with the cavalry charge shows that his reaction time itself is absolutely on the world stage. He was able to shut down every single option RichardCastle had there, and that was on his side of the map as well.
Rowe actually used to play solo lane when he was on NA servers. That's how he reached to Diamond 1 or 2. Subfloor getting a lot of poke onto Laney here, but should be able to get out fun. But yeah, Rowe used to play solo lane, moved into the jungle when Avant Garde formed, and they put Sporks into the solo.
I think I like him in the jungle role. I mean, he's rotating around the map. He's making these amazing calls, and him and Biggy's chemistry has been so incredible so far.
He's rotating. Yeah, I get it. Very funny.
Oh, I didn't do that. You did that.
No, you did it. I know you.
I mean, I said it, but I didn't do it. You did that.
It's all right. You know, don't be ashamed.
Oh my god.
Don't be ashamed. It's fine. You can have one. All right, Subfloor and Biggy are going to start up their purple. At this point, just clearing the buff. Not really too much happening there towards the solo lane. We can see Rowe going to be taking the farm while Sporks backs here. Really efficient from Avant Garde. They never let any gold get out of their fingers.
Well, Subfloor actually started out with more pots than necessary. As a result, has had some awkward timing, and it will result in him not getting as much stacks as we're going to see Laney have. But because they send Laney back in a weird way and he didn't back as efficiently as possible, Laney actually loses some of those stacks to the tower. He does hit level 7 there. There's a very slight advantage right now for Subfloor in terms of experience.
Look at those aggressive wards across the mid lane from Avant Garde. Just normal wards here, but controlling all paths into the mid lane. And just spotting out anything Dire was maybe thinking of cooking up when they come towards the mid lane and look for Ochita. But RichardCastle rolling towards the mid lane here along with ElChuckles. They could be looking for something towards the back of the left-hand side here. There is no buff available. Subfloor's up ahead. He's got beats 1 online, but Chuckles hits him with the scourge. No, actually misses that. Subfloor backflips there beautifully, and that's going to end all of the aggression.
I think RichardCastle chose the wrong direction there. Yeah. He should have came up behind. He would have been able to hit him with the shockwave and then Cataclysm right as he landed. That would have given more than enough time for Chuckles to answer the kill that they've dropped early on. Direwolves, actually, you'll note about 800 gold in the hole right now.
I really like that mid lane ward coming out from the Direwolves, though, right in front of the tier 1 mid tower. Allows them to spot any rotations moving through the mid lane from Avant Garde, and that's what really... Avant Garde's positioning last game was what I felt really gave them the lead, along with interrupting anything Direwolves tried to do.
Jumping in completely off the mark. Ochita seems to be sitting just fine. That going real deep. He may have overcommitted, but it's a beautiful Aegis that's going to be able to get him out of there. And plus that heal.
Yeah. Chuckles chasing Rowe down at this point. Kiki's very low, can't really do anything. World Weaver from Subfloor stopped most of the aggression here. Biggy is coming towards the mid lane, so he's going to be able to help Rowe get out there. Sporks is getting some poke onto Yada.
So do you think this is Chuckles? This is land nerves. I mean, missing Eagles Rally from that range on a player who's not entirely movement-based at this stage, I mean, that's got to be nerves.
I'd say so. I mean, this is the first time any OCE team has played in a LAN environment. They had the games yesterday, but they weren't as big as these games. This is the final game, essentially.
Yeah, I mean, like, obviously Integral and SYF are brilliant players who have made it this far, but there's a very clear difference between the top seeds and the bottom two.
Exactly right, and even now that's showing a bit of a difference between number 1 and number 2.
Yeah, it's actually much larger than I would have expected, especially on the land setting. I thought Avant Garde would come into this. Oh, beautiful dodge from kikiomeo, and able to send some damage back. That was so smart. He knew exactly that Biggy was going to cover his option, and by juking it, by jumping backwards, forces Biggy into the tower and just gets away safely.
That's just experience from playing each other. That's just what all those scrims have done. They know each other's little tendencies, those little habits that you tend to form when you play certain characters.
Mid lane here. We got Biggy and Ochita facing down against 3. You see, it looks like Rowe is in the jungle right now trying to clean up some Metro experience. Surprised that we're not seeing Rowe be a little bit more ahead than ElChuckles. I thought he would have been level 10 at this point.
So do I. He's really good at farming in the jungle, keeping himself ahead of his opponent, but Chuckles managed to keep up this game. Last game he fell behind fairly quickly when he was playing that Guan. Rowe's gone for the pretty much exact same build that Chuckles did last game, just getting it online a little bit earlier. Looking at Biggy, he's actually got a tier 1 Aegis at this point.
Able to jump away, Chuckles tries to throw out the bludgeon, nowhere near in time. Doesn't even get the swing damage, let alone the slam. Biggy in the mid lane will be able to hold this experience as well.
Ochita's a really solid Janus. He knows the portals, he knows all the angles, knows exactly what Threshold can do. By the way, you know, Rip Threshold, it'd still be a good ability after the next patch though. Yeah.
No way, Rip. It was a very minor nerf, he'll be fine.
Still first pick material?
I would say so. I would definitely say so. Yada, by the way, we have not heard Yada at all today. Or in this game. Maybe even today. Yeah,
I haven't even seen the fire shards yet.
There hasn't been a reason to do it. Actually, would the fire shards have killed Janus before?
They might have.
Why? Did they not go off?
I didn't see them.
Maybe they did and we didn't see them?
There was a lot going on, but I don't know. I feel like we would have seen comets raining down from the sky. Maybe he didn't feel himself. Maybe he didn't feel he had enough damage. Didn't want to waste it.
He did.
Saving it for, you know, getting suppression from Sporks. Maybe he's still a little bit wary of Sporks after the way he basically manhandled him last game.
That's true. That's very true. Direwolf still down. In fact, it's starting to increase. Let's go to the graphs here. Avant Garde have find themselves over 1,000 gold now. Once again, 1,100 actually. Wow.
Pretty steady upwards trend for Avant Garde. A little bit of a spike there from that early kill, but pretty much just, you know, going the way that they wanted to go, just steadily up and up. Gold's restarted at this point by Avant, leashing it towards their side pretty nicely. Subfloor's going to be tanking it up. RichardCastle has spotted it out. They don't have vision, so they don't know the health. Avant Garde bursting this one down very beautifully. Direwolves aren't even going to be able to get in there. Avant Garde take that one quickly. Biggy getting the Janus portals out after zoning out Direwolves beautifully.
That's just an easy objective. That's a 1,500 gold win over 10 minutes as well. Avant winds up taking an even bigger lead now at 26, and it's got to be hard for the Direwolves comms right now, saying like they just took that for free.
They didn't have vision there. They didn't want to risk it because, again, after last game, they're still feeling it. As you said, you got to kind of put that game out of your head. You got to play the best of ones, but I don't think Direwolves are in that headspace at the moment.
You know, for that thing right there, I think if that was game 1, they would have fought inside. RichardCastle would have found a way through. But I don't know. I'm not feeling the get pick into the Sobek so far. It's been RichardCastle just getting CC chained by Biggy every step of the way.
He plays much better on more aggressive supports. Sobek Ares, and that's why they've been targeting him out, because they know he does so much for this team. And if they can effectively eliminate him or take out 90% of the things that he can do, they can win these games.
But don't forget, I mean, Kev was the first pick for Direwolves last game. They chose this path.
And, I mean, that's just interesting choice from them. JustLaney takes about half his health there in very short order from Subfloor. Great damage coming out from the Avant Garde Hunter.
By the way, another time in which Fire Shards could have been used at that Gold Fury just for a little bit of fear, and Yada did not pull the trigger.
And you get the vision then as well. You get to see where everyone is. You can see all of Avant Garde were there, maybe pressure down a tower on the other side.
Someone should have called for him to do it. I mean, that's important. Like, tell him. Like, we need vision right now. You got to pop it. But again, he's just farming up, and at the same point, he's also letting Sporks just farm up. And in the end game, yes, we're going to have a little bit more damage coming out from Yada, but he went into Breastplate of Valor. Like, he's not going into damage. He's going into, like, hybrid.
Again, Nuwa's not a god I associate with Yada. It's just not his style. Like, it's different from Isis, but at the same time, it's very similar. The mage picks. Wow. Great damage coming out there from Yada. He's looking for some more aggression. Fire shots?
Not enough. Nowhere near enough. That's about 200, 300 health. And remember, he still has some form of defense, with that Emerald Talisman, on top of the fact that it's also giving him regen. It was smart of him not to pull the trigger on that one.
Subfloor and Biggy clearing up their lane at this point. Vision control pretty even across the map at this point. Dire was responded to all of Avant's wars, but Avant pretty clearly dominating the left-hand side of the map, not really allowing Laney to be the aggressive ADC that he likes to be.
And it's crazy. It's only been 1 kill so far, but Avant has managed to form such a, standard lead, right? This is where you're like, wow, yes, they have it. They have control over the game. It's 3,000 gold at 9 or 12 minutes, right? This is where you're like, this is a good lead for a team.
Dire was pretty grouped up on the left here, just very safely taking their camps. They don't want to risk any invade potential from Avant Garde. Realistically, they can't really do anything risky at this point. They can try for something, but even when they initiate, they just get CC chained so brilliantly by Avant Garde that they can't set up properly.
By the way, you'll notice that Sporks is perfectly using those scythes. He's making sure that he's doing almost frame-perfect auto-attack cancels, and that's something that's very important when you're playing Osiris, especially in the end game where you really need to maximize your damage. With that Sporks, a lot of defense going into the Frostbound Hammer. I love this build so far.
They're looking for Yada. Yada's rotating across. RichardCastle and Chuckles are there, trying to get the mid camps here, but Sporks has spotted out Yada. He
got a
could look for progression here. Biggy gets the tail whip, pulls back Chuckles, gets portaled beautifully. Geb Shield didn't do a thing for him there except prevent damage.
That's
There's
big.
The Eagles rally. Whirlpool there for Sporks. Well, Kraken doesn't come out at this point. Dark Star Knights for Xbalanque. Rowe taking a lot of damage. There's the Kraken, but ages beautifully. RichardCastle falls down to Sporks there. Rowe extremely low. Laney looking for something, but beats it, but he's going to fall down to Subfloor. Sporks has got a double. Yada gets a kill, but Subfloor gets one. That is a 3-for-1 trade for Avant, and they're still looking for Chuckles.
They're going to find another one right outside the portal. Subfloor credited with a double kill. That was insane, and it was crazy to me. Kiki was so pressured in that fight that he didn't have room to put the Kraken down. Avant is 100% in the heads of Direwolves, and if they play for like this for, I'd say, about another 40 minutes total game time, they're going to Atlanta.
I mean, it's what we expected. This is Avant Garde has been the disciplined team from day one. Sporks has got a tweet. He's got a pinned tweet. He had it in February this year, and he said, my goal for this year is to play in the World Championship, and he hasn't unpinned it all year.
So far, it looks like it's going to come true. That was a 4-for-1 engagement. Not to mention they're getting towers. They're pressuring around the map. And look at this. What is that, 4,200 gold now? Something. It's a 1,200 gold engagement.
There's some good mathematics coming in there. 5,800 XP. That is big to me, the 5,800 XP.
Yeah. I mean, especially considering, like, players like Janus who just get stronger as the game goes on. Sobek, who gets such great scaling from his defenses. And then Subfloor, who's keeping a lead over Xbalanque on Neith. That's really important. Don't let Xbalanque reach the end game.
Look at this perfect rotation to the Gold Fury as it spawns. Started up again by Avant. They've got the vision control on it again. Direwolves know that they're doing it, but
look at this.
They're just zoning them out. Rowe and Subfloor doing it. Look at the disdain from both of them. RichardCastle trying to get in the way, but Sporks is just limiting all of his options. Laney can't even look for the steal here. They're looking for damage on the Sporks, but RichardCastle takes so much damage. Kraken comes down, but Richard takes so much damage. Yada gets a kill. There's the fire shots, but Biggy picks up RichardCastle in the back, and now Chuckles looking for Ochita.
Rowe took so much damage there, still able to heal. Sporks trying to get out of this one. He's very low, and we're going to find it. Yada able to get one. Subfloor answers it back, but he's in trouble. He just backflips to the wall, but Chuckles doesn't take the chase. He notices that Yada's in trouble. Ochita in the backline. Gonna get... No, disarm doesn't help you. Nothing against Unstable Vortex.
Oh, look at the portal there to keep Ochita away from the bludgeon damage. Chuckles is gonna go down. Triple kill for Ochita and deicide for Avant Garde.
Let's add a Gold Fury to that one. No one to stop them on this one. The Thunder Sticks come out in the crowd as we're gonna see another... What's this? 300 gold a person right here?
16 minutes in, maybe a little bit less.
310.
Oh, a little bit more?
Yeah, a little bit more.
There you go.
Life is good. Let's go to the graphs. We'll show you how it's shaping up. And I love the fact that they're using their low health right now and properly leashing this back and forth. That's how it's done. That's some pro play right there.
Avant Garde, they don't want to go to Worlds. They expect to go to Worlds.
I think a lot of people expect them to go to Worlds. I'll tell you, though, I didn't expect it to be this one-sided. Again, they're leading by 7 kills and, what, 2 Gold Furies at this stage?
It just seems like a different Direwolf squad to me. Like, Laney isn't playing as aggressively as he likes to. Kiki's doing pretty much what Kiki does, but RichardCastle has just been taken out of this game.
Completely, right? The Geb is clearly not working. Maybe it was more than the ISIS. RichardCastle needs movement. The Direwolves have to notice that they're being focused down in the front line. They're not trying to get to the back line. They're using Aegises to shut down Kiki's damage. They're making sure that Chuckles has to build into some form of defense, which technically, you know, the Frostbound Hammer is. And Yada doesn't have enough damage at this stage of the game to be carrying, neither does Laney. So they're just picking off everyone who can CC them and then just running around the map, forcing them into choke points and getting kills.
Let's take a look at player damage at this point. I want to see how much Kiki's been able to put out, and only 4,200 at this point. There's 4 Aegises on Avant and a shell coming out from Biggy. That's going to take out a lot of the Whirlpool and Kraken damage.
Yep. I mean, and that's what you want, right? Just minimize the massive damage burst, because that's what this team is, right? They have Fire Shards, they have, you know, Kraken. That's a massive burst of damage, talking in the thousands. So by putting that shell up, making sure that people have Aegis to try to mitigate as much damage as possible, there's no way for Direwolves to fight into this. They need to start focusing on the left side of the map. They need to try to get Laney to be in a much better spot, and the best way to do that is to gank Subfloor.
One thing I really like as well is that not only when they pick the Sobek, they knew that they could then pick Guan because healing reduction was kind of a little bit off the board in terms of what Direwolves like to play. I really like that combination. And Rowe, while he's got very minimal player damage, if we could take a look at player healing, I imagine he's pretty up there.
That old F2 chart. Let's see how it goes. I imagine, wait, Laney trying to box it out. He sends back some damage, but Subfloor definitely gets the better of him.
And look at the sustain. He just gets the broken weave there, heals himself back up pretty much to full health, while Laney's forced to stay there at about half.
He's got that Soul Eater. I mean, it's no issue whatsoever.
Subfloor will take the fights at this point. Subfloor doesn't like to fight when he's about even, but when he's ahead, he'll definitely take you on.
Well, I mean, as he should,
yeah.
Right? Especially as Neith, right? Being able, if you're ahead as Neith, it's really hard to fight into. You know, being even or being behind is one thing, but when you're ahead as Neith and you have so much more ability damage and you're able to control so much more space with the CC, remember also that she does have an attack speed debuff as well.
Looking towards our mid lane builds here, we can see that Kiki's gone the full cooldown route for Poseidon, and it looks like he's going into a Soul Reaver here. Maybe book a Toth, but to me it's a little bit late to building up those stacks.
Soul Reaver, I mean, it might be a little bit early. 15% really only hurts RichardCastle at this point. He's only level 11. I think I'd put my money on the Book of Thoth.
Yep.
And then right into some serious penetration.
Let's take a look at JustLaney at this point. 0, 2, and 3, so he's got no passive stacks for Xbalanque. Not really hitting terribly hard. Has gone Executioner before he's gone Iqbal, so he's going to be going triple crit.
Triple crit. You're calling triple crit.
Triple crit. Yeah, I think you can do it. Maybe Fatalis. But I think.
I love Fatalis.
But I mean, actually, no. I'm going to take that back. I think Fatalis, because Laney likes to 1v1. He's coming to this and he's like, I want to 1v1 Subfloor. But so far, it's been Subfloor really dominating that lane. Well, the only thing I can think for triple crit is if the team calls it, but if it's up to Laney, he'll pick Fatalis.
The first form of weakness shown is Avant Garde solo lane tier 1 falls. Thanks to the constant pressure from Yada, level 18 right now. Yada keeping pace with the rest of the squad of Avant Garde. 9,800 gold, though, actually keeps him directly in line with the enemy solo laner, despite the fact that we have seen 2 Gold Furies go in favor of Avant Garde.
All the kills from Direwolves have been from Yada so far. He's 3-1-0. No assist to be had at this point, but it's a total switch from the last game where he was just constantly picked on. Now he's able to rotate a little bit better. He's got the global presence with the Fire Shards as well. And he's been able to keep up with Sporks and Lane, as you mentioned. But Sporks does take that tier 1 tower on the right. That's the first one to fall. Actually, no, I think that's the second one to fall down this game after Yada took Sporks' tower.
Rowe going to get a rather cheeky back right there in the choke point between the tier 2. Even so, Avant Garde still pretty far ahead, about 7,000 gold at this stage, on top of the fact that they have 7 kills, a fair amount of experience as well. Really, the only person keeping up at this point is Yada.
You said before that Direwolves need to gank Subfloor a lot. other than that, what can they really do to bring themselves back in this one?
I mean, they're still in the farm game. They're 8 levels behind as a whole right now. And I mean, I don't think it's going to get that much worse considering, honestly, Avant Garde is only going to hit 20 and cap out. I mean, that's the only strength that Direwolves has right now is that they have the farm game advantage right now if they choose to not fight. But if they choose to not fight, they're going to be losing more objectives. I think a lot of that has to come from, a lot of it comes to Laney. He has to get damage in these team fights because he's not doing anything during the team fight phase. Because if he can't force them to use abilities, there's no way this Kraken's doing any damage, ever.
This Gold Fury now is going to be the next point of contention. Both teams dancing around here. The fog comes out from Yada, hiding RichardCastle a little bit, trying to get himself in there. But Avant Garde really spacing themselves out nicely for that Cataclysm. They don't want to have too many of their own members locked down.
Sporks moving forward. Sentry wards in the inventory for Sporks, Biggy, and Subfloor. None for the mid laner. Jumping right to the back line, going for Rowe. Strangely, Chuckles throwing out a lot of his kit and not doing all that much damage. But it seems like Direwolves have a better chance here, but the turnaround's coming. Avant Garde goes right to the back line, and they're going to focus down Laney.
He falls down to Rowe there. Chuckles gets the bludgeon, but he's going to fall down. Rowe's got himself a double, and now Yada's being targeted. He's forced away. RichardCastle very low. Gets a knockup by Kiki. Gets a Geb shield from his brother, but he's extraordinarily low. Sporks has got himself another one, and RichardCastle, Yada forced to back away. This could be a gold free for Avant, but it looks like they're looking towards fire.
Another message to Direwolves sent as the one-sided Avant Garde pushes forward towards the Fire Giant. I'm assuming that this one's going to be a clean pickup. Really, Yada doesn't have a way to fight into this, and he's going to get caught. Let's go to the back line. It seems like he's going to get portal. He's forced to beat. He throws out a stun, but I don't think he can get away from this one. Sporks, does he find the slow? Yes, but the minion's going to block him out. Fire Giant, though, will go to the boys in blue.
That's the more important objective at this stage of the game. Well, really at any stage of the game, when you can get the Fire Giant, it's massive. And if there's one team that's going to exploit having a Fire Giant, it's Avant Garde.
They don't even back. Let's check Golden Hand. I mean, they've got to be sitting on a pretty penny at this point. Yeah, 1750 right now for Rowe. Over 1,000 for both the support. I'm sorry, for the solo and for the hunter. They're pushing into the tier 1 and mid. I assume we're going to the Gold Fury right out.
So you can add another 100 to their pockets there. Another about 350 at this point in the game. When they take this one down, look at how much damage is coming out from Rowe's got 1,900 gold. When he goes back, what do you reckon he's going to be going into?
I mean, taking a look at the build, he already has the Mail of Renewal. He already has full CDR. This looks like magic defense to me.
I'd say so, considering that there's two big magic damage dealers on the side
Stone
of the
Gaia.
Direwolves. Makes sense, and that's just even more sustain for a Guan Yu that already brings so much to the table. Now, while Rowe hasn't been doing a lot of damage, he's just been there for his team. He's been setting up, he's been healing, he's been slowing, he's been stealing protections with Guan Yu. He's done a tremendous job.
Right there, Chuckles takes down the solo blue. Yada was 18 when Sporks was 18. Sporks taking the lead there. Nobody right now is level 20 yet at 24 minutes, which means the experience difference between the teams is just raw.
One thing for me that I've noticed about Direwolves is that there hasn't really been any setup for the Kraken. Direwolves haven't gone aggressive at any point in this game.
Fight. I mean, RichardCastle is getting just absolutely devastated in every single engagement. He's getting tossed around like a rag doll by Biggy.
Biggy Sobek is real. Ochita clearing the wave there. Avant, 3-man grouping in the left. Sporks just kind of holding the mid lane by himself. Actually, it's a 4-man grouping in left. Rowe's in there as well. He's around his teammates so much it's impossible to see his icon on the map.
Left side tier 1 to fall. The tier 2s remain.
It should go down.
Wait. They have an 11,000 gold lead with no tier 2s taken.
That's incredible.
Jesus.
That's what 3 Gold Furies. Oh, they're Biggy plucking kikiomeo in there. No Geb shield available for him. RichardCastle there, though, managed to come through and get it through space at time lands. Kiki gets a kill, but Sporks takes him down in short order. RichardCastle rooted in place by Subfloor, who gets the kill there. Now Chuckles gets hit by the World Weaver, dashes away. Laney and Yada body blocking for their teammate, but you don't want a body block as the Xbalanque and Subfloor's got himself a double. This could be a Phoenix. This could be game.
Wait, over the wall. No, gonna miss the shots, but it doesn't matter. We're gonna see the F6 come through, and game number 2 goes to Avant Garde.
Oh my goodness. My goodness. This is what I said before. The team that gets the first game has always been the one that's won in this series, and now we've got...
But those were 2-game series.
Yeah.
This will be the first time they were forced to go to a game 3.
And could there be overconfidence from Avant going in this one?
I don't know, man. The way they were playing is smart, and I think a lot of that has to do with Captain Coach taking the team aside, making them talk it out. You can see him right now. There's a little bit more smiles going on for this game, though.
You can see a little bit more hand-wringing, a little chin scratching, that kind of things. They know, they can feel it. They're 1 game away. They're possibly 30 minutes away from a trip to Atlanta, Georgia. Pretty tremendous.
$1 million prize pool. I mean, right now it's a $65,000 prize pool. It is the largest single-day prize pool in esports history for the Oceanic region, and they're going to have their chance at $1 million.
That's insane for anyone in Australia, and that's like that's $1 million American, right? Like it's like proper money.
It would be 1.6 million Australian dollars right now.
Could be even more with the way the dollar's going, but we'll see. And they also get that lovely trophy there. You could see briefly on screen. Man, I just want to touch it. It looks so nice.
You can go ahead.
We're
casters. We can do whatever we want.
Really?
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, it's
I
fun.
like this.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah. What do you think Coach is saying to the boys in Avant right now?
He was probably saying, you hear how loud the right side of the room has been compared to the left?
Exactly right. We can see they've all got jerseys down there on the front. You know, we can see the sub, only good at solo, waving there. He's a good kid. Yeah, look at it. We can see the Thunder Sticks as well coming out. Left-hand side of the room, some of the other players there, but primarily Direwolves supporters on that side. It's really interesting how the room divided up into
It's always like that.
Yeah.
It's always great to watch. It was really awkward in last year's regional LAN when I sat on the side of Complexity, or now Envious, instead of the Cog, now Cloud9. Barracuda stared at me from the stage, and I'm like, sorry, I'll go sit in the middle.
How can you do that to Barracuda?
He's fine.
Allied Senpai, though.
Yeah?
Shout-outs to Allied. Right, so we talked about Avant Garde, Direwolves. What have they got to change this game? I think it's got to be the Geb.
Yeah, 2 games in a row, RichardCastle is getting tossed around by Biggy. I mean, maybe they first pick. Maybe they take Sobek. And to that part, maybe they ban away Sobek. Maybe they just take him away. Biggy has been unstoppable. But 2 games in a row, we have seen Rowe play a different god. And 2 games in a row, Rowe has been on top.
Rowe's been Rowe, is what's happened.
Yeah.
It's Rowe. There's a reason people consider him the best player in OCE.
See, I was a believer, right? I'm a believer that he's definitely playing to be one of the best in OCE. But I am now definitely a believer that he is the best player on this continent by a mile.
Their ambition,
it's crazy.
Their ambition is to win worlds. Like they believe they can do it. They are willing to take it to the North American EU teams. They're not going to back down from them. And we're going to see some of that aggression as we go ahead and take a look at the first blood here.
Now, once again, we'll be checking out Biggy. RichardCastle gets sent back. He tries to get the Cataclysm off, but Rowe, so smart, immediately goes up into the Cavalry Charge, recognizing his only option available, and he knew that kikiomeo wasn't going to be able to rotate over in time, and as a result, First Blood goes the way of Avant Garde, and from there, it was a 1,200 gold lead before the first fight, which turned into 3K almost immediately.
The term snowball comes to mind when you see that kind of thing. Big as well went into the lurking in the waters as well, just completely destroying the Cataclysm. Cataclysm did nothing.
One of my major points of analysis was that the better team fight belongs to Direwolves, and the team fight has not been able to happen in that 5v5 regard until Avant's 10,000 gold ahead. In fact, let's take a look at one of the team fights that happened throughout the game here. And this was early, right? And there was starting to be a lead here, but you'll notice that while everyone from the Direwolves is there, they're kind of getting baited. Rowe comes out of nowhere and just rushes them down, and RichardCastle unable to get those big Cataclysms off. Yada finds a kill, then Biggy answers back immediately.
The thing about that one as well was Sporks essentially zoned off every single person on Direwolves.
And look at that. Oh my god, Biggy's tail whips are so crazy. It winds up still getting the kill for Yada, but it doesn't wind up giving them enough room to continue forward. And at this point, Avant Garde just has too much tanky frontline potential, and then movement from Ochita is just so insane.
Chuckles just needed to leave there and recognize that Yada was going to die, save himself, prevent the DS side, just to prevent any gold and XP more going towards Avant Garde, but Dai was there falling 5-man around the Gold Fury, and from there, Avant Garde, as you said, just able to build up the lead. The graph was just a solid hill upwards in favor of Avant.
And that last team fight, so cheeky, right? Ochita walking into a Bellona who's going into Frostbound Hammer. He's like, I got like 3 seconds before Unstable Vortex, but I'll wait it out, and then just bang.
Yeah. Looking at Avant now, we can see a little bit of grins coming out from Biggy there. Subfloor looking pretty pleased with himself. Ochita's just neutral. He's just stone-faced.
He seems to be a pretty neutral dude throughout the weekend.
No,
pretty neutral dude.
He's precision. I like the hair. It reminds me of Snape.
What?
Yeah. It reminds me of Snape.
Oh.